Hi, and welcome to this demo where we're going to cover the storefront capability within the Evolution web store product. A good place to start on the storefront is always the look and feel of the software and some of the options that you have there as the dealer. So there's two options really. Option number one is where we operate a theme-based system. Some people call that templates, and it is pretty much the same thing. So on the back end of the site there are many themes to choose from, and then within each theme you can do some nice customizations. So for example, you get to customize the logo, the color scheme, you get to customize things like the navigation, so you can add extra tabs to this section here. You can take tabs away, rename those tabs, and of course you get to control all the content behind those tabs as well. If we come down a little bit further, you're going to get the banner content on the store. So all the merchandising content and the banner content across the store is fully customizable. It's important to understand that it isn't just limited to the homepage. So you can have homepage banners, but you can also have things like category specific banners, and we can do other cool things like banners linked to keyword search results. You get to customize the categories and how people drill down into the web store. Things like special offers and top sellers are very straightforward to modify from the back end of the software. So that's option one, theme based, but with some really nice customizations inside each theme. Now if you feel that's going to be too restrictive for you, then there is a second option, and we call it our custom homepage design option. So that's kind of what it sounds like. It's where you can work alongside your local HTML, CSS guys, come up with the perfect look and feel for your Evolution store. And the way that we facilitate that is we provide you something called our Designers Pack, which you can pass on to your web development agency, and that has all the hooks back into the Evolution platform. So they would basically send us back the finished design pack, which we would then overlay onto your site as a custom design. So that's it when it comes to design. There's template or theme, and there's also a custom option as well. Next up, I want to talk about the data that comes with the store. So the site gets delivered to dealers fully loaded with United's electronic content, and today that's something like 35,000 SKUs. Now you don't need to do anything to make that happen, and anytime that content gets refreshed, whether that's I think it's on a monthly cycle, then we're going to do that at this end, and you will not feel that happening. It just kind of happens at night while you're in bed sleeping. So the content's managed on this end. Now beyond the United stuff, you are free to go ahead and dump in anything you want on top. So if you've got products from other wholesalers, manufacturers that you do business with direct, or even other verticals that have got nothing to do with the office products industry, then that's cool, and there are very simple tools in the back end to help you add all those additional SKUs, and there's no upper limit to the number of SKUs that we can support. So we have some sites out there that have got 200, 300,000 SKUs, and they work just fine. So I want to start diving into the store and look at some of these internal screens. So I'm going to select office supplies from the root level category menu. I'm going to drill down into the site and select binders and binding systems, and then subcategory binders. And boom, I'm going to get a whole bunch of binders. Now that's cool because it's what we asked the software to do, but given the end user 100,000 binders to choose from isn't very useful to them as the customer. So they're going to need some tools to slice and dice that data. Now that's where these attributes on the left hand side come in. So from this selection we can filter by brand, capacity, color, material, and a whole bunch of other criteria that we can use to refine the result. We can also search within that limited result of binders, and we can limit that result to only items that have got a positive inventory value from United. And so at multiple times throughout the day, we're going out to United and we're collecting the inventory values, point in time, snapshot inventory values, and we're doing that 3 or 4 times throughout the day. Those are optional. You can switch them on and off, and you can also do that at the facility level. So you can take different facilities, combine those facilities, and show that combined stock value. There's loads of flexibility baked in around stock and inventory. If we go ahead and click on an item, it's going to give us what we call the item detail page. You could think about this as pretty much everything we have on this product. So the description, any inventory data, unit of measure. Coming down a little bit further, you've got the selling bullets, any attributes listed underneath. Where the data supports it, we'll show things like alternative products and related products. Customers can also leave reviews on products as well. They can like that product on Facebook. They can tweet about that product to their friends. So some really nice hooks into the social networking platforms. And we also have our comparison data in this section here. So the comparison data is driven by the same content that runs United's Market Expert program. And in the background, the service is going out to a whole bunch of different websites like Depot, Staples, Office Max, Amazon, and a whole bunch of others. Scraping the data from those sites, so what are these guys selling, how much are they selling for? Bring that data back, and once we've got that data stored in our servers, we can then start cross-referencing that information against the United products, and we can find the matches. And so where we find a match, we can show the comparison. Now the key functionality here is it will never show the comparison unless your price is less expensive than the competitor's price. It won't say, good news, you can buy this cheaper from Staples, click here. Now we've also taken that same capability and fed it into the pricing logic on the back end of the store. So not only can you show the comparisons, you can also say, okay, for this customer or for the entire website, I would like to make the pricing Staples minus 1%. But providing I'm always making a minimum of 15% margin, so you can set minimum margin protection. And once you set the rules, you hit go, 3, 2, 1, boom, it will reprice the entire store based on that logic. And more importantly, it will keep those contracts up to date every time the Staples price changes. So that comparison feature is very, very powerful, and it's a great addition to the software. So next up, guys, I want to go ahead and log in as a customer to show you the control panel functionality. So let me just do that. Oh, wrong password. Let's try again. There we go. So, it's really important to understand, guys, that one of the really unique things about Evolution is the ability to do both B2B, so business to business, and B2C, business to consumer, and do both of those things really well on the same web store. So let me just qualify that. When I say B2C, I'm thinking about the customer who found you on the internet, clicked through to the website, registered themselves, added $100 worth of product to the shopping cart, and then checked out using their credit card. That's a B2C customer. Now if you're that guy, that's cool. You'll get a nice consumer experience. The whole thing's going to feel good. It will be like Staples, Depot, or any of these other websites. However, there's a different type of customer, and to be frank, one that we are much more familiar with, and that's the B2B customer. So that could be characterized as the CFO or the senior purchasing agent within a big company who might be responsible for buying $100,000 worth of office products every year. Now that guy's got a completely different requirement. So for example, they may need things like budget controls and multiple logins within the organization. They might want to restrict spend and tell the system this guy in the stores department can spend $5,000 a month. If he goes over that, then send the orders to the CFO for authorization. They may want to restrict certain users to a subset of the overall product range. They might want to support a government account who has ability 1 and block and sub requirements. Now if you're that customer, then that's cool, because we have all of those functionalities, and you can switch them on and off at the customer level. So that's where Evolution is very unique. It's got this ability to support B2B and B2C and do both of those things really well on the same web store. Now just to be clear guys, I'm logged in here as that second option, the B2B CFO type option, for no other reason than I just want you to get a real good feel for all the capabilities of the web store. If I was a B2C guy, I wouldn't see half these options. So I'm going to pick maybe 3 or 4 things to focus on here. So first up, we've got wish lists. Now, wish lists are really simple, and as the customer moves through the store, they can add things and build a wish list over time. Wish lists look a bit like this. So any items they add are grouped together automatically, so all the binders are together, all the folders and pens, and the system does that automatically. We'll feed the customer a nice thumbnail image so they can easily identify the product. And of course over time these lists can get quite big, so when they do, you can filter the list and you can also search within that list as well. So that's wish list. They're really simple, and most customers will take the time to go ahead and build one of them. Sorry, back to my account. Next up, I want to talk about the contract list. So the contract list, you know, is that list of 50, 100, 500 special prices that you've agreed with this customer. So they can come here and they can see those products at their special prices. I'll actually cover pricing more broadly on the admin screen video, so watch out for that. But that's the basic functionality of the contract list. The most frequently purchased items, so it's going to take the 25 items this customer buys most frequently, and it's going to put them in this list again, just to make things nice and easy for the customer to access products very quickly that they buy on a regular basis. There are many ways, of course, of generating lists within the system. So order pads is a good example. So order pads, once again, just another way of building a list. So you can have an order pad for the envelopes the customer buys, for the cartridges, for the toners, for the pens, and of course the pad's got a name, and within that pad it can contain any number of products. So that's wish list, and again just another way of making things nice and easy for the customer. Group users is probably the most important part of the software. So you can think about this as the ability to have an unlimited number of users per company, and then decide what each one of these guys can or can't do when they log in. So for example, let's take this one here. So when we click on that user's ID, first thing that's going to come back is what we call the static information for this guy. So default billing and shipping, telephone number, when did he last log in, all that kind of stuff. And then if we click on the user settings tab, it's going to start to give us some more detailed granular control over what this guy can and can't do when he logs in. So does he get to see cost centers in departments in multiple ship to addresses? Does he need to be locked into the contract list? You know, maybe you've got some customers who'll say, when our people log in, don't let them do anything except buy products that you and I have negotiated special prices on. And if that flag's checked, that's exactly what it does. It locks this guy into the contract list of products. You can lock customer or users into specific order pads. Over on the right hand side you can set some budget controls. So we could tell the system this guy can spend $100 on any single order, or $5,000 a month. If he goes over that, send the order to the approver or the authorizer for authorization. So those hierarchy workflows are all baked into the product. You can have multi-level authorization, so it doesn't need to be just one level. It can go up another level. So there's loads of different ways to slice and dice spend and have controls kick in for certain users at certain points. Just coming to the end of this, guys. You got the address book for the company, and there's no limit to the number of ship to addresses that we can support. You've got departments and cost centers, and you can manage very complex procurement scenarios using those features. So you can add cost centers to each line in the shopping cart and then report on those values later. They can view all orders they've placed in the past. They can reorder from a previous order by clicking this button right here, or they can click into an existing order to get the detail. So billing, shipping, line information, including any cost centers, and then totals listed underneath. They can save shopping carts, recover those later. Some people like to build an order up over time. They can have simultaneous shopping carts running. And over on the left hand side, going to finish up on some of the Office products specific functionality. So you've got the ink and toner finder. You've seen this before. It's where you can tell the system, I've got an Epson, it's an inkjet, it's a stylus C62, show me the cartridges. Now that's cool, but we've taken that a stage further with this feature here called My Printers. So it basically allows the customer to go through the same process but add an extra condition at the end. So I've got an Epson, it's an inkjet, it's a stylus C62. However, in here we call it Steve's printer or the office printer. So it allows the customer to label that machine something that makes sense to them, and then order the consumables just by clicking on the label. So if they need consumables for the warehouse printer, they click on that label. For the office printer, they click on that label. And there's no limit to the number of machines that can be held against the company. Finally, guys, to finish off the front end demo, I just want to briefly talk about our rewards program. So it kind of works like this. It's where you could tell the system, for every new customer who registers, we want to give them 500 points, okay, just to say thank you. And then 1 point for every dollar they spend thereafter. And when they've got 50 million points, give them the iPad or the TomTom or whatever you decide they can get for that points value. So there's a very consistent way for customers to accumulate points over time, and then down the line are able to redeem those points against some gift items that you've defined. And then most importantly, once you've set the rules, once you've set the parameters, the system just takes over and enforces those rules. So it kind of goes into automatic pilot. And that is a really great way for getting customers to come back to the web store. So just to finish this whole front end demo up, guys, I'm just going to walk you through the checkout process. So if I go to my account, bring up the wish list, I'm going to add a few items to the shopping cart. Okay, so I'll go and view the basket or the shopping cart, see the items in the shopping cart. At this point I can save the cart, I can go ahead and apply a coupon code if I have one of those. But at this stage I'm just going to go ahead and proceed to checkout. It's going to ask me to confirm my billing and shipping information, and if there's multiple shipping addresses they'll be available in the drop downs. So I'm just going to go ahead and select next. It's going to offer me shipping options and payment options based on my user profile. Both of these things are highly configurable. I'm going to leave an order number and go ahead and click next. At this stage it's going to ask me to review the order and double check that everything's accurate and correct. I can also apply cost centers at this stage to each line on the shopping cart. I can leave a note on any line, so deliver to Paddy's desk. Finally, I can add a PO number to the order, and once I've done all of those things, I can confirm, and boom, you're done. Thank you for the order. So guys, I hope you found that helpful. That's our storefront video. Don't forget to check out the admin screen video, which you will find associated with this.